chapter 4 of David Jeremiah's book, he is quoting Revelation chapter 13, verse 17. No one might buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast. He goes on to say, over on page 74, you might have a similar chip in your dog or cat. Chipping pets is a popular way of tracking them if they get lost. But human microchipping is more sophisticated, and it offers a broader range of applications. The chip can be used to open secure doors or log into a computer with only the wave of the hand. It can also be used for countless payments. When the chip is linked with the bank or credit accounts, users can access funds by swiping their hand over a payment terminal. Actual credit cards then are no longer needed. The technology has literally gotten under your skin. And it's coming soon to a hand near you. Embedded microchips will offer you a world without keys, wallets, or other encumbering items. A world where everything is accessible with just a touch. In the future, such biochips will detect illnesses, monitor your vital signs, and send instant messages to your doctor. Goes on to say, maybe you're thinking, doesn't the Bible say something about this sort of thing? Haven't I heard about something being stamped in your hand or on your forehead? Yes, he goes on to say, you're right. The evolving biometric chip technology reminds us of a prophecy found in Revelation 13, verses 16 to 17, a passage predicting something that will happen at the end of history during the Great Tribulation. And so then he quotes, he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one might buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Now notice right there that it isn't just to do with some kind of a mark on the hand or the forehead. You could not have that. But if you have the mark of the name or the number of his name, you still come under this system. So it's more than just something to do with the wrist or the forehead, because even if you want to put that to one side, you're going to have people that will have the mark of the name of this power and the number of this power. And it also then would have you would be part of it. It would have its claws stuck into you, and you'd be part of it. Goes on to say here on page 75, but wait, imagine this technology in the wrong hands. Could it be leading us towards the days when a centralized government will control, attack, punish, or monitor us? All technology in the wrong hands can become a tool of terror. High-tech and scientific innovations is flying into our world like a runaway meteors. Even your cell phone is increasingly invasive. Imagine that in the wrong hands. And it's true. Certain things then in the wrong hands can be used against you. We'll go up to page 82, where he gives a diagram here about the wealth of the world and who owns the world's wealth. 1% of the world's population owns 44% of global wealth. And indeed, 99% of a world's population owns 56% of global wealth. So something to do indeed with economics and with wealth and with power for the last days. Yes, it's true that there will be indeed powers that will govern wealth and will govern materialism, as it even is today. You have certain powers that are governing how things are going wealth-wise on this earth. On page 84, Jeremiah says, Satan will be the power behind it all. The Antichrist will be the political leader during the tribulation, and the false prophet will be the spiritual and economic leader. End of quote. Incorrect. My friends, the Antichrist is the false prophet of the book of Revelation. The book of Revelation talks about a false prophet. And indeed, other parts of the New Testament talk about the Antichrist. Now, people get into their mind that the last days, this Antichrist is going to come along and say, I'm Antichrist, you know. I'm against Jesus Christ. I want everybody to know that. I am against him, and I will do everything opposite to him with my laws and so forth. People get this idea that this Antichrist will just willfully say that he is against Christ, he is against Christian religion. That's not the case, my friends. When the New Testament speaks about Antichrist, it's talking about people whom Jesus in Matthew 24 said, they will come and they will say that I am the Christ. They will admit that I, Jesus Christ, am the Christ. They will come and deceive many. These antichrists, my friends, in the New Testament, are people who are coming to you as if they are Christian, as if they are serving God and serving Christ. They're not going to come and tell you that they are and that they're against Christ. They're going to come and say that they serve Christ. That's what the New Testament teaches about being an antichrist. It is so deceptive, Jesus said, that if it was possible, even the very elect would be deceived. So this antichrist, and especially the false prophet antichrist of the book of Revelation, he's going to come along as if he's a Christian. He's going to come along and it's going to be so nice and so Christian speaking and theology speaking about the Bible and God and Christ that many are going to be deceived. And if it was possible, even the very elect would be deceived. The very elect can't be deceived if somebody comes along and says, you know, I'm against Jesus Christ and all that he stood for, and I'm going to bring in everything opposite to his teaching. I mean, how can you deceive the very elect with such terminology as that? The Antichrist is the false prophet of the book of Revelation, and he is going to be Christian, and he is going to head the biggest Christian church in the world. And I don't think you'll have to meditate too long to know who that Christian church is. Let me tell you, you go back to the fundamental Protestants of 200, 300, 400 years ago. Adam Clarke, Albert Barnes, Matthew Henry, Jemison, Fawcett and Brown Bible commentary. You look at them and they're going to tell you that Revelation 17, 18, 19 is talking about the papacy, Babylon mystery religion, the woman that is drunk with the blood of the saints. Which woman, which church woman is drunk with the blood of the saints? It shouldn't take a great deal of education to know who that is. And they openly admitted in their Bible commentaries that what Revelation is speaking about in that chapter 17, 18, 19 is the papacy. And it is the leader of the papacy. You know, a pope or two back visited a South American country. And the reporter was there amongst the crowd. And he goes to this young lady about 20 years of age and says to her, "What do you think about the Pope coming to your country?" And her immediate reply was, "He is God on earth." Yes, that was her reply. No question about it. Immediately she replied, "He is God on earth." This false prophet, 2 Thessalonians 2, is going to eventually sit in God's sanctuary, in the Holy Land, in Jerusalem, and he is going to claim that he is God on earth. And it's going to be a great power. It's going to be a power that is going to tell you how you are to live in your mind. It's going to tell you how you are to work by your hands. And it's going to have a name, and it's going to have a number 666. And in the Greek, my friends, in the Greek, that number 666, you add it up and it comes to Romulus. Romulus was the founder of the Roman Empire. Romulus, 666. And that Roman Empire was to have 7 resurrections of the Holy Roman Empire. And we have had 6 today. 6 resurrections of the Holy Roman Empire. There is a 7th one to come. A 7th Holy Roman Empire led by that woman church who is drunk with the blood of the saints. Now, this man is no relation to me, but his book, A Woman Rides the Beast, is right on the mark. You need to obtain this and read it. He is correct in what he writes in this book, that power, that papacy, is going to ride the last resurrected Roman Empire. It's the 7th resurrection of a Roman Empire. And it's going to tell you eventually what you are to do, how you are to live. And if you do not comply with all it says, you are going to come under persecution. You are going to be noticed like a sore thumb sticking out if you don't follow its rules and regulations, if you don't follow its way of worship, its festivals, if you don't follow its Sunday worship. You are going to stand out like a sore thumb. You're going to be noticed. You won't be able to hold down any jobs. You won't be able to work. You will be ostracized. And if you kick up too much fuss about following its theology, you are going to be persecuted. You're going to come before the courts of the land, and some will die for the faith once delivered to the saints. And many will have to flee from that power, from that Holy Roman Empire that is taking place, that is forming right now in Europe. You can see it, my friends, before your eyes. It is forming to be a great power, economic power, a trading power, a military power eventually, and a religious power, with the papacy riding that beast. That is what's going to happen at the end time. And it's going to be so deceptive to the masses. To the masses, they're just going to flow with it, thinking that this is from the God of heaven. And as Jesus said, it will be so deceptive that if it was possible, even the very elect would be deceived. You have to do, if you want to serve the true God in Jesus Christ, as he said in Revelation 18, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, that you receive not of her plagues. That's how you're going to have to stand in the last days for the word and the truth of God against this great, mighty power, the seventh and last resurrection of the Holy Roman Empire.